Hello everybody, welcome to Matt Makes Monsters. My name is Matt, and today we're going to do 6 more characters from the Fan Arts Challenge. This is part 2, and they have been requested. So, I guess I gotta do it. What am I? What am I? Huh? A drawing machine? Yes, I am. Let's go. Okay, so we're starting with Count Olaf, the main antagonist from the book series, A Series of Unfortunate Events. Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. Sorry, that's the full title. I have seen the Netflix series and the films. I have read parts of the book to my kids, but I've never actually gone through all of the books, so I'm ashamed to say I don't know all his deal, but I knew enough. And the description in the books is not super great. He's tall, he's got white hair, he's got light skin, apparently he's got blue eyes. I didn't give him blue eyes, I just gave him dots for eyes because I was going extra cartoony for this. I don't know why, I just did. This was the one I was actually finishing up. If you caught my live stream last week, you can see me get a little bit further with him. And eventually I did finish him. But Count Olaf, number one request. Let's move on to 2. But first, sound effects. Huh? All right. Number 2, this was during my live stream. I asked for requests, and then I put a bunch of requests, and then I rolled a die to see which one, singular, and it ended up being Homestar Runner, which is fine. Homestar Runner, super easy. That was as fast as he took. He was very easy. Homestar Runner. I love you, Homestar. No problem. I love you too. Yeah. No, I shouldn't have done that. That was a bad. If you want to see me do an impression of him, I did it on the live stream, which is up. This is Rell the Cyclops from the 1983 masterpiece movie known as Krull. If you have not seen Krull, and I said this on the live stream and I will say it here again, if you've not seen Krull, do yourself a favor. It is fantastic. People will tell you that it's not a great movie. Mostly critics will tell you that. But you know what? They're wrong. Krull's amazing. It's got everything you need. It's got good guys, bad guys. It's about a prince, and he's got a big throwing star thing that's just like, it's the size of, it's like 5 claws, and he just pitches it, and he recruits a bunch of thieves to go help him rescue a princess in a castle from the beast. And this guy joins, and he's a Cyclops, and Cyclops can see their in the Krull universe. Cyclops can see their own death. Cyclopes. Is that the? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I did him entirely in the live stream. If you want to go watch that in real time, it is there. You can watch me put Rell together, or you could just do it now, really, really fast. Bye, Rell. Do yourself a favor, watch Krull. It's amazing. All right, next up, we have Garion from the David Eddings books, Belgariad and a whole bunch of them. And I am sad to say that I was unfamiliar with this character. This was a request. I was unfamiliar with this character. I am a bad fantasy fan. I know it. So I had to go and look for a description of him, and I'm gonna tell you, it's not easy to find. It's not easy to find. So I basically had to go and look at the, and I know this is sad, but I had to go and look at the fan art. I'm a little ashamed of that, honestly. But he's a kid, so I made him a blonde kid, and I gave him some of the trappings. I don't know how well I did. If you've read the series, let me know. I just wanted him to look cool, and he's got the orb on the end of the sword. And from what I understand, that's fairly important. God, I suck. I know, I'm terrible. All right, next. Well, this man needs no introduction. It is Skeletor. my favorite and yours, voiced by voice acting legend Alan Oppenheimer. I love this character so much. I grew up watching He-Man. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was my jam as a kid. I had almost all the toys. Look, some kids were into Transformers and G.I. Joe. I was into He-Man, which is, that explains a lot of where I'm going on with my life right now. I had trouble with that hand, didn't I? Yeah, Skeletor. He-Man, you bumbling buffoons! God, I love this guy. He's so awesome. The Alan Oppenheimer also did the voices of Merman, Man-at-Arms, Cringer, and Battle Cat. So this guy was a legend. There would be no, so much of what the He-Man cartoon was that guy. And I grew up watching that. I used to rent a VCR. My parents used to rent a VCR and rent the videos, and we would watch them, my brother and I. Man, I love Skeletor. So I'm so glad this was requested. It's one of my favorites, and he was a guy named, I think, in the reboot in the 2000s, he was a guy named Keldor, and he got acid splashed on his face, and then he became this. I love you, Skeletor. I love you. Best villain. Okay, well, he's kind of an idiot, but still, love him. And finally, the last request, and we here at Matt Makes Monsters, and by we I mean me, we try to be a family conscious show. We're not for kids exactly, but we just, I know there's a lot of kids that are interested in drawing, and I don't want to push them away. But I got a Hellraiser request for Pinhead from Clive Barker's Hellraiser. So I decided to do the Cenobite guy, and I watched those movies, and some of them they got increasingly pretty bad, but the first one was pretty great. So that's what I did. I did this. He was actually known as a Hell Priest in later incarnations. His name was just his name Pinhead was actually given by the crew because he had pins in his head. I had to shrink his head. It was too big. Now I gotta add shadows. And when drawing all those little individual pins, I had to wonder, why did I pick this one? But hey, I think he turned out all right. So I tried to, there's not a lot of gore on this guy. I mean, there's a little bit, but it's not so bad. It's not so bad. So this is Pinhead and his super awesome hell box and his pins. I don't think I nailed the actor's look. I really don't, but that's fine. I did my best, and I put a lot more time into him than I did the others, and I think it's just because he's got so much detail on his face, and I had to go in and individually put the highlights in for every single patterned square on his face. So, but yeah, there he is. Gorgeous, lovely. And he's the last one for this one. So this is fan art 2. Next 6. I think they turned out pretty great. Those guys are up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm having a blast doing this fan art stuff. It's a nice decompression from the big series. I'm still working on the Universal Monsters. They're going slow, probably because I'm doing fan art all the time, but it's a lot of fun, and I'm having a blast doing it. If you have anything you would like me to draw, put it in the comments below. If not, join me for my next live stream, which will be coming, I think, early to mid next week. The first one I did on Friday was a blast, and a big shout out to everybody who attended. It was a lot of fun interacting with you while I was drawing. So for like 2.5 hours, I just hung out and drew and talked to you folks, and it was awesome. So keep in mind an idea, and if you have something you really want me to draw, put it in the comments below, and I will see if I can get to it. In the meantime, I hope you stay as happy and healthy as you can possibly be in these strange times, and I will see you next week. All right, everybody. Bye-bye. 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 That's a thing I say now, apparently.